plastic surgery just in general is such a fascinating topic to me, and I don't think we talk about the psychology behind it enough because it's become so normalized in society. Like, I lived in LA for a while, so I was used to it there, but I was so shocked when I got back to like small town Mechanicsville when I learned just how regularly even the girls around here will get like Botox and all kinds of things. That's just completely foreign to me, even having lived in LA, but I would see stuff like that all the time. And here's a little fact about me. My grandmother is one of the first women to ever get, she's no longer alive, rest her soul, I love her. She was one of the first women to ever get breast implants. And she had complications. A lot of women did. So my family was on a class action lawsuit because of that for her. And I'm against getting plastic surgery before the age of 25 unless it's out of necessity, because growing up as a woman, like, that's such an important part about becoming like a fully confident woman, is having something about your physical appearance, which we all do, that you're uncomfortable with, and learning how to embrace and love that thing and love your own natural beauty. Like, you have makeup, but that enhances your natural beauty. It's not changing it, and then you can wash it off at the end of the day. But when you're getting surgery so young, you're not developing that. For instance, my voice, if I had the option in my early 20s to get a surgery and make my voice sound like everyone else, I would have done it in a heartbeat. But now it's one of my favorite things about me. It's one of the first distinctive qualities that I have, because I used to be self-conscious about it. But now embracing it, it's so empowering to embrace something that I used to not feel that good about. And again, just take a step back for a second from what we've been conditioned to accept as normal, and just think about it for what it is. Let's talk about breast implants. You are so uncomfortable with how you look naturally, with the body that God Himself created and gave you. You are so uncomfortable, so insecure, that you are willing to spend thousands of dollars. It's not cheap. Go under the knife, butcher yourself for a surgery that you don't have to do, have the recovery time, and then put a foreign object in your body that does this. All this information is coming out now about just how bad they are for you. And obviously, I'm not a doctor. You know what I'm saying. We have to say that. But that's in your body. You were that insecure that you were willing to do that. That's why, like, that's a mental illness to me. Like, that something is wrong mentally. And I don't think we talk about that enough. And by the way, I understand the surgery that you get, like the corrective surgery, or like you got in an accident and were disfigured. Like, I understand that surgery. You're going back to what you were. You're going back to how God made you. One of my favorite old Hollywood stories of all time is about Sophia Loren. So, and by the way, she's known as one of the world's, she just turned 92, and she's known as one of the most iconic beauties of Hollywood history. When she was 16 years old, by the way, she grew up really poor, war-torn area. When she was 16 years old, she was doing a screen test for a director in Rome, Italy. And the director, who was watching her on the camera, told her that if she was ever going to make it, that she was going to have to get a nose job, because the shape of her face was really odd and it didn't translate on camera very well. Well, she, at 16 years old, looked at him and said, "My nose is what adds to my unique beauty." And she was right. And she never got a nose job, and now she's known as one of the most beautiful women of all time. But what makes me sad is you hear less and less stories like that. And by the way, if she would have gotten a nose job, she wouldn't be Sophia Loren. And even Bella Hadid recently came out and said she regrets getting her nose job so young because it was her family nose. That was her heritage on her face. That was her family nose coming out, and now she doesn't have it. Now she has just a standard cookie cutter nose that was made by Mattel. in a plastic surgeon's office. But you have less and less stories that are like that now. And these are the stories that are empowering to young women, not Kim Kardashian putting blood on her face to look younger, you know? Oh, and one more thing. I think it's a good point, but women are going and getting these procedures on their own. No, I mean, obviously that was a different story, but most of the time, men aren't saying, hey, I want you to have bigger boobs. I want you to have bigger lips. I want you to... They're not saying that to women. Women are going and doing that on their own. So we're doing this to each other. And it's just silly.